Hey, welcome to another video from SkinnyMedic. I want to talk about which scenarios you'd want to use a tourniquet and which times you'd want to use wound packing skills. So we'll start with a tourniquet first. A tourniquet is used for extremity massive hemorrhaging, meaning the arms or the legs, and they are bleeding profusely. I mean, you cannot stop them with direct pressure. So whatever tourniquet you're using, whether it be the cat tourniquet, soft T, the rats, or you're making your own tourniquet, those are for the arms and for the legs for massive bleeding that you cannot get control with direct pressure. So products like the combat gauze and Celox have a hemostatic agent that are going to assist with the clotting process. Products like the H&H bandages are just gauze. They're still going to help, but they do not have the hemostatic agent in them to help with the clotting process. We use products like combat gauze to pack the wound. This goes inside the wound, it goes to the source of the bleeding to help control bleeding. So this carrier here is made by AR500, has soft body armor in it, but you can see like right in here, this is a vulnerable part, and this is always a vulnerable part for wearing body armor. So a tourniquet only comes up to here. This will be a great spot for wound packing right through this area. So here's another example. The tourniquet only goes up so high on my arm. So working that armpit, that shoulder, is a great place to pack a wound. Another good spot to think about wound packing is the groin area where the femoral artery is running right through here. I can only get the tourniquet up so high. So all this area right here is exposed and you can't get a tourniquet on it. Your femoral arteries, the size of your thumb, you can bleed out in a matter of minutes here. So wound packing this area is very important. Where you're going to find wound packing be very useful is areas like right up here in the shoulders on the body. You know, you can't get a tourniquet but so high up here on the arm, so you've got this little area that's exposed to injury. So I could pack this shoulder with combat gauze if I had, you know, gunshot wound, things like that, would be perfect area for that. Another idea to think about as far as wound packing is if you think you're going to have a tourniquet on for an extended amount of time, then you can take and pack the wound that you obviously had large amount of bleeding coming from, hold pressure, wrap the wound, and then take the tourniquet off. Of course, you're going to watch it to make sure you're not bleeding out again, but you could pack that wound, release the tourniquet, and that's going to allow blood flow back into the rest of the arm if you're going to have a tourniquet on for an extended amount of time. So the key points to take away from this video are that you use a tourniquet for arms or legs with massive bleeding. If you can't get a tourniquet where the massive bleeding is, you can pack the wound with gauze, things like that. If you think you're going to have a tourniquet on for an extended amount of time, then you can go back and pack that wound where you had the massive bleeding from when you put the tourniquet on the arm or the leg, and then release the tourniquet. But you have to watch that wound because you don't want to stop the blood flow with a tourniquet, pack the wound, and then release the tourniquet, and then you see bleeding coming and your patient bleeds out or you bleed out. So I hope this video helps. You never know when you'll be the first responder. Remember, you need the right gear and the right training.